And hello and welcome to Orion Today. I'm Joe Johnson. Once again joined by Michael Dwyer. Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure to be here. I'm always happy to sit in and co-host and sit here with you and talk about what's happening in this great community of Lake Orion and Orion Township and even beyond.
I believe this is our first episode since our food drive. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
You took part in the food drive. It was an enormous success. We raised over $17,000 for the Fish Food Pantry in Oxford, plus a van load of food. So thanks to our Lake Orion community for helping to support that, and thank you for taking part in that.
No, it was fun to be here. It was fun to come by and see all the action, and the Big Money Day was nice, which was a lot of the checks come rolling in, and that's always fun to announce. And so this is a record, right? We broke a
Yeah, this is the most we've ever raised. Prior to COVID, we used to do our week-long food drive, and I looked back at Facebook posts from pre-COVID days, and we were excited to raise $1,000 or $5,000, and our focus was mostly on food, and it was a one-day event. To raise $17,000 is it just shows how far we've come over the past decade or so.
Yeah, it's so important for the community, and it's nice that the community has this resource that ONTV puts on to be able to facilitate such a drive.
Yeah.
And we've got the partners, and I know Ian and all the people behind the scenes are working with the community connections to keep building the momentum behind this. And so final numbers were over 17,000.
Yeah.
What about food? Do we have a gauge on that?
I don't know if we got a poundage report, but basically we had our van parked out in front of the ONTV building and left the doors open, and people could just come by and drop off food. So we had people dropping off food all week long, and the van got pretty full. And then we just drive the van over to the food pantry and unload there. So I don't know what the math is to figure out how many pounds there were versus how much money that's worth, but that definitely adds to the total, and they're happy to get it.
Yeah, and of course, if you're watching from home, you can still donate to the Oxford Orion Fish Pantry.
Yep, OxfordOrionFish.org. They're always looking for donations and to volunteer your time. And of course, the reason that ONTV does the food drive at this time of the year is because between the holidays and May, it's kind of a dry spell for them. They don't get a lot of donations during the first part of the year. But when May rolls around, the post office is going to have their Stamp Out Hunger food drive. And you should be getting something in your mailbox soon that tells you to, you'll get a bag, like a plastic bag in your mailbox, and they're asking you to fill that with canned goods, box goods, leave it at your mailbox, and then the postal carriers will take that and deliver it back to the post office.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for some time.
Yeah. So we help kind of bridge that gap, and then the post office food drive will take care of things in May, and they bring in a lot of food.
So I know you've been watching the Olympics.
I wouldn't say I've been watching it. I've been following
Picking and choosing, or
I look mostly at social media and maybe TikTok to watch some of the highlights and things like that. I find, like, I went out to my sister's house a couple of weeks ago, and they had the luge on, and it's just one athlete after another just going down the path like a rocket over and over, and I don't know what each individual is doing to make their run any more faster than just going down like a bullet, and I find it very monotonous. So it's hard to watch it in real time. I'd rather watch the highlights after the fact.
Well, yeah, I can see that, and especially because they're really fun sports, but I don't understand them. I don't know the rules and all of the science behind it. So to watch country after country, athlete after athlete doing the same thing, it can be, okay, I don't know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So the highlights offer that opportunity to see, well, the winners, the ones that did it right, and then hear about it.
Yeah.
So you can say, well, such and such team was able to do this and that, and you're like, oh, okay, and you'll forget it until 4 years from now. But
and then of course, what makes the news is the controversy. I was almost laughing when I was hearing about the controversy when it came to curling. And there's a video clip out there where the players are cursing at each other. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is curling. Why are they cursing and shouting at each other? And there was some controversy about the guy who let the stone go, and as he released the handle, he kind of gave it an extra nudge with his finger, which caused all hell to break loose. And now, because of that, I know way more about curling than I should, but you're supposed to control the stone by its handle. That's the rule. But if the judges don't see the finger give it the extra push, there is no replay. There is no challenge. There's nothing you can do about it. And so that caused all kinds of friction between the two teams. And I found it more amusing than anything else.
Amusing is a good way to put it, yeah, because looking at it's fascinating. I'll be mesmerized. I'll watch it, and I can just watch it over and over again. It's not like the luge and these other ones that are a little redundant. Something about curling.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what they're doing with the brushes. I can look at the bullseye and I don't know how they're scoring.
Right.
I don't know what was good or bad. I have no idea. But I know it's interesting just to watch and be. So the controversy is funny, including the cursing at each other. Come on, and Canada was involved. I mean, they're the politest people on the planet. But yeah, that little finger picture, I was like, oh, well, we'll see that forever.
Yeah. And then, of course, Americans might say the highlight of the Olympics was the hockey wins. The women's team won gold, followed by the men's team winning gold. First time in, 46 years that the men's team had won gold. It was since the miracle on ice against the Russians,
right.
I guess.
That's right. That's
right.
I
So it was kind of a big deal. And but, you know, I'm always surprised when I look at the medal count after the fact. The U.S. was behind Norway. Norway won more medals than the United States, which always surprises me.
Well, I saw that too, yeah, because we have just a million athletes, right?
Yeah.
We have the budget for it, and there's all kinds of people going. But it's the Winter Olympics.
Right.
And Norway, I think they know something about winter.
Yeah. So, like I said, you know, I enjoy the recaps, I enjoy the highlights, and, you know, it's fun water cooler talk, you know, after that. But I don't really get into it and sit and watch it as it happens, so. But I understand it's news and kind of unifies the country to a certain extent. Everyone gets behind their athletes.
Yeah, because generally these are folks that they don't know much about. There's always a great backstory to them, the human interest element, and the news covers a lot of that, so it's fun to hear about that. People were getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning, or they were trying to sync with when it was live over there. And I don't do that. You don't do that. We watch the highlights. But yeah, congratulations to all the athletes that participated and are still participating. And we're having a great winter here in Michigan, so we can kind of relate to what they're doing.
Someone to keep an eye on in the future, and unfortunately I don't have his name here in front of me, but I've been reading about a Lake Orion figure skater who apparently is one of the top 10 in the world, maybe the country, maybe the world. But I have a feeling in future Winter Olympics we might be seeing a Lake Orion native be competitive. So it's something to keep an eye on 4 years from now.
Well, and I know the local news have been covering the Michigan athletes, but there's quite a few of them. Mm-hmm. And especially on the men's hockey team, quite a few Michigan athletes. So that's nice.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to take you now to an event that happened this past Friday. The Lake Orion Police Association and the Lake Orion Police Department have had a program partnership with Blind Sims Elementary, which is the only school within the borders of the village of Lake Orion. They call it Kids and Cops, and the police officers bring pizza to the school after hours on Friday. And they had about 200 kids show up to play games and basketball and floor hockey and have a good time with the police officer, which, of course, builds a bond between police officers and the young people.
Right. It's important to get that connection instilled early.
Yeah, exactly. So I was there on Friday to shoot video. The first one was scheduled in January. That got snowed out. The school district had a snow day, so they had to cancel it. So technically, this past Friday's event was the first one of the year, and it's a lot of fun. Shot some video, talked to some of the people involved. Let's take a look. On the evening of Friday, February 20th, approximately 200 students ranging from kindergarten to 5th grade were invited to Blanche Sims Elementary School for fun and games during the Lake Orion Police Association's Kids and Cops program. The first event of the year was originally scheduled for January, but was canceled due to extreme winter weather. This time the weather cooperated and the kids were eager to have some fun with the cops.
So we do this about 3 times a year, and we get together with the students of Blanche Sims, and we just have a good time. It's sponsored by LOPA, who is funded by different community organizations. Golling's a big one that helps with this every year with our car show, and they put together a good car show. We get fundraising from that, and just some other donations that come in to help us put on an event like this. We do games and play sports with the kids. Pizzas is provided and drinks. It's a good time.
Well, they're just going to experience a lot of fun, and a lot of it is really free play. We have everything from field hockey to Legos to gymnastics on the mats or basketball to just playing board games. So it's a whole variety of things that they can play, whatever they feel like they want to do.
Blanche Sims Elementary is the only school located within the borders of the village of Lake Orion, so they have a unique relationship with the police department. In addition to organizing the program, the PD also provides many of the games and equipment the students use year-round.
The police officers, over many years, they've donated ping pong tables and foosball tables and the different equipment that we use for this. We also use it throughout the rest of the year as well. So we have a good mix of our own things plus the things that the police officers gave us over the years, and it really makes for a fun night. Just gives them a wide variety.
What do you want to say to the police officers who helped make this possible?
Oh, I just want to thank them. This is such a unique program. I haven't seen anything like this in other schools or other school districts, and they're giving us their time. And they could be home with their families, they could be off somewhere on the weekends, but instead they've chosen to spend it here in the community with our kids. And the kids know that, and we love the relationship we have with the police officers. Police officers are certainly a positive element in our community and within our school.
It's important to build a bond with the kids in general, just to let them know that police aren't the bad people. We're out here to have fun as much as we can. We do have responsibilities, and we pass that along to, no running into the halls. That's a rule, right? So there's rules in life we have to follow. We just try to pass that along gently and build the bond with the community, especially the youth.
There is one more Kids and Cops program scheduled for Friday, March 20th before it wraps up for the year. For more information or to support the program, you can find contact info on the Lake Orion Police Association's Facebook page. From Blanche Sims Elementary School, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News. Just join them and have some fun at that event, but they look like they were having a great time.
Yeah, and this time of year, especially as we've talked about the Olympics, all this activity is probably a lot of fun, floor hockey.
Yeah.
And it's nice that they do that.
So I mentioned at the end of the story, there's one more event left in March where the kids will go back to the school and helps them get through the winter, I guess, until the spring rolls around, and then they can do that stuff outside.
Well, anything that ends with pizza has got to be a good day.
That's right. All right, we're going to segue now to our guest live here in the studio. Patricia Schapira is joining us, the director over at Love Inc., who's doing great things here in the community. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you for having me, as always.
Before we get into the fundraiser, which is still a month or so away, let's talk about Love Inc. What does Love Inc. do in the community?
Yeah, so our mission is to mobilize local churches to help people in need. So folks call our Connection Center when they're experiencing, tough times, when they don't have enough food to eat, when they've lost their jobs, when they can't pay their bills. And what we're there, to do is to listen to them and figure out how together we can help them get out of that situation. Not just to give them a handout, but to figure out what we can do with them, to figure out that situation, but also moving forward.
Do you find yourself dealing with a wide age range from maybe young parents to senior citizens?
Yep, we see it all. Yep, we see it all. We see a lot of folks who are struggling with homelessness of all different ages, and that's probably the toughest one because there aren't a lot of resources in the community for that. So we encourage folks to, reach out to family members. They have some different programs in Lapeer if they can get up to that area. I think they opened a new shelter in Pontiac, but that's one of the toughest things that we hear when folks find themselves in that situation.
Yeah.
Now, what you have to do, you're filling gaps that maybe are between what state and federal and local municipalities might have in some sort of social net that can help.
Yep.
So is part of what you do helping them know where the resources are and then fill those gaps?
Absolutely, and that's a great way to talk about what we do. We're there to fill those gaps that aren't being met by those different programs. Absolutely, and if someone comes in, for example, we had some, we've run into some folks who've had cancer and they don't know about a cancer organization that we know about in Rochester, New Day Foundation. So we can be that bridge between the folks who don't know what those resources are, and we have a list of a bunch of them, and that's part of what we do.
That's wonderful, because
Yes.
if I found myself in need, and Joe, you might think the same thing, would you know where to go?
Oh, because of the nature of my job, I
Yes,
know
you
all the local nonprofits. We're like that. But I understand your point.
You'd
that,
have to go
you
through
know,
that thinking in your
yeah,
head.
yeah.
And then it's tough for some people to admit that they need help.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I was going past a local church this past weekend, and I saw a big sign out front that said free dinner, like Thursday at 7 p.m. or something like that. And so that's part of what you do, is to make people aware of the local churches. Like, they all
Absolutely.
have, dinners and things like that on different days of the week. So you shouldn't hesitate. You shouldn't be afraid to admit that you're hungry, that you're in need, and take advantage of those resources. I'm sure they're happy to see people walk in through their doors.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what churches are designed to do, right? To help those, who are less fortunate, and that's what we love, to be able to connect folks with those resources, because everybody at one point in their life has probably needed some sort of help, whatever that might look like, and so we're really happy to be able to. When folks don't know where to turn when they call us, we're happy to share those resources.
And it's not just financial help.
Nope, not at all. Nope, not at all. So we have so there will be some financial help that we give to folks, to help pay some of their bills. But we have an example of someone coming in next week who needs some budgeting help. So they can sit down with one of our, budget counselors and talk about, they have this much coming in, if we can't quite make ends meet, what are some resources that are out in the community? How can we, budget our money more efficiently so that we can become, more comfortable with the situation that we're in?
Yeah.
What are some of the situations that people find themselves in that they need to turn to you, or as an ideal example?
Yeah, we have folks who are sometimes facing like a DTE shutoff, and so they might not know that there's a budget plan that they can get on, or we have folks who sometimes need small home repairs, and we can connect them with different resources in the community. For example, we had someone who just called in, and they seemed like they were making enough money, but they couldn't quite make ends meet, so we suggested that they reach out to FESH, right? So they can save some money that they would normally spend on food, but then also allocate that to different bills that they have.
Because sometimes just a little bit is what they need.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and just a different way to look at things, to say, hey, perhaps if I had a less expensive car payment, so maybe the next time I look at a new car, it should be a less expensive car, because then it would be less expensive for car insurance, and then I would have more money, across all of the bills that I need to pay.
Yeah. And sometimes there's big needs, a roof or something. Or
Yes.
Years ago, there was a homeowner in Lake Orion who was aging and became wheelchair bound, but needed a ramp. They had steps, they needed a ramp. So the Home Depot Foundation came out,
Yep.
and at no cost to the homeowner, they built a ramp. Those are the types of things where you can connect somebody in need to someone like the Home Depot Foundation.
Absolutely, and we've used them before for different things, and different veterans groups, the VFW, we've done that too. It's all about, the Knights of Columbus, just all of those, interconnecting agencies that we're aware of that are around to help, that, we know that those resources are available and we can connect people to them.
Now, obviously, to do what you do in the community, there's a cost involved. So how do you supplement that? Of course, that's my segue to our fundraiser, but in
Yes.
what ways do you help fund your cause?
We are strictly a donation-based nonprofit, so all of our money comes from either grants or donations from the community. So that's why we have our yearly fundraiser. Yeah, that's coming up April 18th. We're very excited about that. And really the purpose of that is to get more folks in the community to know about what we do. Obviously to support the mission financially, but I believe the more people who know about what we do will feel passionate about that cause and will want to help us.
It's at Indianwood. You see the video
It
on the
is.
screen now. It's a very glamorous and elegant event. Everyone's dressed up. You see a lot of the raffle prizes on the table. Talk about that.
Yep, we love to go to the local businesses that we actually frequent ourselves, because then it's all about relationships for us. So if there's a business that I frequent, I'm happy to go to them and say, hey, I'm so happy to support your business. Would you consider supporting Love in the Name of Christ when we're doing our annual event? And everybody is always willing to say yes. So that's part of the whole thing, building relationships with the community, but also with everyone that we serve.
Now, last year, you may see him pop up on the screen a little bit. You had a keynote speaker,
did.
Eric Hippo, former
Yes.
Detroit Lion quarterback who has overcome some challenges and now is a motivational speaker to talk about how he overcame hardships. Do you have a keynote speaker lined up this year?
We actually have someone who we've helped in the past, who we've built a relationship with, and so we're really excited to invite him back and talk about what that's looked like over the past year and a half that we've been on the journey with him. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're really excited about
So
that.
kind of a testimonial
Yes.
success story of how it works.
Absolutely. He was just in our office last week and we celebrated his 70th birthday. And so, yeah, that's kind of, in addition to helping folks, we want to see how they're able to make changes with some of the suggestions that we've given them, right? And it's really all about the relationships and how we can help folks see a different way.
Yeah. Now, if I remember correctly, in past years, you've had like drop boxes in various locations. Do you still do that where people donate
did.
clothing, mittens, things
Yeah.
like that?
So we did actually just have a gift card drive that we do every year, and we had those I think we had them at GLAC, we had them at our office. We have a lot of our partner churches that will drop off products for hygiene bags that we have for folks. So every time somebody comes in for an intake, we give them, shampoo and soap and toothpaste and toothbrushes and all that kind of stuff. So we have a lot of our churches who actually partner with us and bring those in addition to the gift card drive.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
great.
it is.
Now, while we were off camera earlier, Michael and I were talking about a little bit about retirement. And I would imagine there's probably a lot of people out there who aren't financially ready for retirement. And I'm wondering how many people walk through your doors or reach out to you who enter retirement and realize that what they have coming in isn't enough to get by. Do you
Yep.
experience that a lot?
They don't really say that per se, but however, one of the things is when folks come in and they can't quite make ends meet, and they're, in that certain age group. We encourage folks to go out and find a job, because there are lots out there available. It doesn't really matter what age you are. you can always find something, and it's just an easy way to help you get out of the situation that you're in. Like, let's say you can't completely rely on your retirement funds, but going out there, being active in your community and working is what we always encourage people to do, because that's just a way to feel better about yourself and kind of help you over that hump.
Do you ever host seminars or anything about specific topics like that where people can come in and learn how to prepare for retirement or, that sort of thing?
That we don't. That might be an idea.
Hey!
Segue to, yeah.
I might sit in on that.
Yeah, it's a
Sure.
good idea, because retirement is a life change.
It is.
And we were talking about other life changes, right? It could be a medical condition. As you mentioned, someone might need a ramp. They never thought they needed that.
Yep.
They could have kids or grandkids move in with them, and now their costs have gone up.
And that happens quite a bit, actually.
A divorce.
That
These
happens
are
too.
things that you don't plan for and can have a financial and emotional stress
Yes.
on you.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm turning 60 in August this year, so retirement's still a few years off, but I've been kind of looking into it, watching videos and reading about stuff, and I'm shocked by some of the stuff I learned. Like, you can start taking Social Security at 62, but you can't take Medicaid until 65. So there's a 3-year gap where if you choose to retire at 62, you might not have medical coverage until 65. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that was the case.
I know, I heard you saying that, and my wheels started turning. I'm like, do I need to pay attention to this? Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure, if folks came into us with those sorts of questions, we could find the resources, to connect them with folks to find out what they might need to do in that case.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anything we can do to help, we would
Sure.
we would love to help you get the word out on that.
Of course.
So the fundraiser is called Share the Love,
Yes.
and it's Saturday, April 18th. It's in the evening, 6 to 10 p.m. at Indianwood Golf and Country Club, which we just saw the video showing what it looks like.
Beautiful venue.
Yep.
Tickets are $100.
They are.
They're available until the 3rd of April.
Yep, and we just did pre-sale for tickets. I believe it just started on Monday. And so you can go to our website and scan the QR code. I think a lot of our supporters received an email where you can just scan that QR code to buy tickets.
Now, is this something that sells out every year?
It does.
So people that want to participate, they want to give, they need to get involved. If they can't come, I bet there's other ways they can be
They can
involved.
certainly go to the website and donate financially if they'd like, or if that's not what they're able to do and they're a business, they could certainly donate some product and then get the name of their business out that way as well.
Something to go in those silent auctions or
Absolutely.
the gift bag. Okay, great idea, great idea.
I would imagine included in the price of the ticket is a nice meal. Have
Oh,
you-
absolutely.
Have you selected the menu? yet?
Yes, no, we're still working on it. But it never disappoints at Indianwood. It's always something good.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So money raised through ticket sales, silent auction. You're going to do like 50-50 raffles, anything like that? What are some of the ways you'll be bringing in money?
Yeah, so we'll be doing the silent, the live, and then we're actually we're going to have a donor auction. So for folks who aren't interested in, getting anything specific or, products or baskets or anything, they're able to support the cause by, the donor auction. So that's very helpful as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. So for more information, give the website out again.
Yeah, loveincofnoc.org. And if you would like to get involved, we're always looking for volunteers for administrative stuff in the office. Just kind of come in. There are opportunities Monday through Friday. Shifts are 4 hours long. So if you'd like to give back to the community that way, we're always looking for volunteers as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for all the great work you're doing in the community, and thanks for joining us today. And we'll continue to help you get the word out until the day of the event. Of course, I'll be there to shoot some
Thank
video
you.
as well.
Awesome. Thank you for always supporting us by having us on.
Well, thanks for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you.
We were talking about the food drive earlier. One of the main sponsors of our food drive is Broadway Dance, who coincidentally occupies our former ONTV studio on Lapeer Road over by Taco Bell.
Okay.
Broadway Dance occupies our own space. So not only do they donate to us in food and money, our thank you to them for donating to our food drive is that we spend an evening at their dance studio recording their dancers performing a variety of routines. And it's really great.
Do we get to see one of those?
That is coming up right now, and you'll be blown away by the talent of these young women and men at Broadway Dance. So let's take a look at that now.
Here we go. Pressure. Pressure. This is my life. There's so much pressure. But with this music, I feel much better. I dance all night. It's my salvation. Love is the message. My motivation. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
And if you hear this on the gong at the back, gong at the knees, baby, shake it to the max. Will the DJ please turn up the bass to the max? Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max. 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 Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max.
Bad man she love, 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 yeah, bad man she love, bad man she love, yeah.
When you hear the rhythm, start to move.
la 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 la. Francia, Colombia, me gusta. Freeze. J Balvin, Willy William, me gusta. Freeze. ¿Dónde está mi gente? Mi cuerpo se la prende. ¿Y dónde está mi gente? Sí, yeah, yeah, yeah. 1, 2, 3, go.
Times have changed, and we've often rewound the clock since the Puritans got a shock when they landed on Plymouth Rock. If today any shock they should try to stem, instead of landing on Plymouth Rock would land on them. In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking, but now God knows anything goes. Good authors too, who once knew better words, now only use four-letter words, writing prose. Anything goes. The world has gone mad today, and good's bad today, and black's white today, and day's night today, when most guys today that women prize today are just silly gigolos. And though I'm not a great romancer, I know that you're bound to answer when I propose. Anything goes. Anything goes. You say your prayers, you like the clean hairs, you like the full chairs, you like the back stairs, you like the full affairs, you like with young bears, you like why nobody will oppose. No, I'm not a great romancer, but know that you're bound to answer when I propose. Anything goes. Anything, anything, anything. Anything goes.
Are back, and as I said, those dancers over at Broadway Dance are just so
Amazing.
enormously talented.
Too much energy. Too much energy.
And they're great, and yeah, they're real troopers. They would do a rehearsal, and then they would perform a routine for us, and it was just it's awesome, like to see them perform and what they're able to do at that age. I wonder, imagine being a parent and you have a little child that you watch, learning to walk and stumble and fall down, and then all of a sudden one day they're doing that. They're doing flips and cartwheels, and it's got to be awesome for a parent to see their child pick something and be good at it.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's lots of things that children pick that it doesn't quite go well. But there's a lot out there, so that's why it's important to keep trying things. But that dance, I mean, besides being a performance and really interesting to watch, it's a great athletic thing for them, right? It's a fitness routine.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't do it, let's just say that.
I'm exhausted just watching them do it, so yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad they were a sponsor and we were able to show that.
Yeah, yeah. Something you and I were chit-chatting about just before the show. Have you been following the story about this monkey in Japan?
Yes, just a little bit. The one with the stuffed animal.
Yeah. So apparently this monkey, and I'm not sure what species it is, but his name is Punch, and when he was born, his mother rejected him for some reason. And then the enclosure that he was in, the other monkeys around his age rejected him as well. And so he was alone and isolated. So the zoo crew got him a plush orangutan to kind of substitute for his mother, and he really embraced it and took to it and drags it all over the enclosure. And as more and more people were recording the monkey with his stuffed orangutan, it went viral. And now everybody's following the adventures of Punch the monkey. And he seems to be adapting now. He seems to be making friends. But the funny thing is, the ironic thing is that the plush orangutan, which you could find at IKEA, has sold out. Everyone is buying the plush orangutan, which I find hilarious.
Well, next up, we're going to probably have a stuffed animal of Punch, right? A version of him. And then that will come with another stuffed animal, the orangutan. So
That's right.
I see a whole collecting series going on, and you know something about that.
I see a Pixar movie in his future, maybe. I would go see that.
I hope he gets the royalties. He deserves it.
So you never know what's going to catch on social media. It's really fascinating to see that. And of course, you know, the algorithm on TikTok, where you see that video, you watch it, and then the next video is of the same monkey, and the next video. Like, the longer you watch a video on TikTok, the more you see of that monkey, and that's how these things go viral.
Yeah, it's really bizarre, but social media, the algorithms, they know you better than you know yourself. It's spooky.
It's almost to the point where you feel like your phone is reading your mind. I mean, it's one thing to like speak something out loud and then you see the video on your phone. We all know that happens. But it's weird when you think something and you see that video on your phone.
Yeah,
That's eerie.
I didn't say that out loud. What? Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. So, what's the next thing we have? Oh, so the high school students over at Lake Orion High School, every year they have an event called Sell Out for Soldiers.
C-E-L-L.
C-E-L-L. And basically they put up their phone for a day. They don't carry it with them throughout the school day, even though I think there's some talk that schools want to just ban cell phones altogether.
Well, we just passed that legislation.
Yeah.
The governor signed it.
Yeah, right. So here in Lake Orion, the students voluntarily give up their phone for a day to benefit soldiers overseas. So let's take a look at the event over at the high school.
For a single day in early January each year, Lake Orion High School turns into a party at arrival. There is a giant flag outdoors attached to a fire truck. There is music blasting and students singing and dancing and even a few costumes. Matching shirts abound as the student body floods into the building. It is Sell Out for Soldiers Day, and all of Lake Orion High School is pumped up.
So today at Lake Orion High School, we're having Sell Out for Soldiers, where everyone is putting away their phones and technology for the day to help support and raise money for Sell Out for Soldiers. So when the kids show up, they bag their phones and they get a free t-shirt with all our sponsors of the day, and they put away their phones for the day, and it just helps a great cause.
Leadership students are lined up at tables, and each incoming student stops and commits to spending the day without their cell phone. It is bagged and stays with them in their backpack, so it is available for emergencies. But the goal is a tech-free day at LOHS. They are given a t-shirt for their participation. The idea is that students and staff who also refrain from using technology in their teaching to focus with each other and consider the cause of those who support them. After one period of class, the full school enters the field house for an assembly honoring local heroes, first responders, veterans, and active military.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars.
all begins with the introductions and leads to a volleyball game with Lake Orion High School students mixed in with the heroes to compete. Lake Orion High School assemblies in the gym are marked by competition and not just on the volleyball court. The students and the heroes each participated in games organized by the leadership class with the different grades each trying to outdo their classmates. The event always concludes with unity and a sing-along, an impressive sight as nearly 2,000 students all wear their matching gear singing together. Though it's only once a year, honoring heroes and raising money for charity is one of LOHS's signature events.
So, Michael, this year there are a lot of milestones people are going to be celebrating. Probably the biggest one is the country.
Yeah.
250th birthday of the United States.
250 years, all in a row.
Right. So there's going to be events planned throughout the year to celebrate the country's birthday. Last year, the Orion Chamber of Commerce celebrated their 75th anniversary. The library is celebrating their 100th birthday this year. We already covered one event where they opened up a time capsule. The time capsule was only about 25 years old, but it was still kind of neat to pull out artifacts from 25 years ago.
What were some of those artifacts?
There were some newsletters and things like that.
Like that would go through the U.S. mail?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And so one of the things that made me laugh that was put in the time capsule 25 years ago was a floppy disk, I believe, or some sort of disk that was supposed to have contained the library's website 25 years ago. But when they tried to get information off of this disk, they didn't have the technology to be able to do that. And so they don't know exactly what's on the disk because the technology has changed so much in 25 years.
Well, it makes me think of that gold LP that they put out in the Voyagers.
The Voyager, yeah.
Yeah, with directions on how to build a record player.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you'd think they'd be able to figure that out. Some other milestones that I only recently discovered was I was going through some archival video, and I found some video of the Veterans Memorial on Lapeer Road there. And we did a program 10 years ago where we brought in Dr. Joe Master-Mateo and Bob Watros from the Veterans Memorial into the studio to talk about the memorial's 20th anniversary. Well, that was 10 years ago. So a little light bulb went on over my head, said this is the 30th year. So we want to bring some people involved with the creation of the Orion Veterans Memorial to celebrate the 30th year of the memorial. They broke ground on the memorial on Memorial Day, 1996. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, lots of milestones, and time flies by, so those milestones start to have another milestone, like you just mentioned.
Yeah. In a couple of years, I think it was 1998, Great Lakes Crossing opened for the first time. So they're going to be coming up on the 30th anniversary of Great Lakes Crossing.
That's amazing. And they're still there.
Yeah, and they're still doing well. You know, you see a lot of people talking about the demise of the mall across the country. And granted, malls like Lakeside Mall and the one that used to be on Telegraph, they're all gone now. But Great Lakes Crossing is still thriving. I go there and I'm uncomfortable because it's so crowded.
It is busy, absolutely. And the demographic, or I should say the architecture of the mall has changed. I think whatever they did over there with that kind of lapping, they made it work.
Yeah.
And they made it a destination.
And even in the wintertime, it's a good place to go get your steps in if you need to get your steps in. So yeah, and there's a good variety. There's a lot of places I like to visit. Now, a moment ago, I mentioned that the library is celebrating their 100th birthday this year, so they have events coming up. I believe on May 1st, it's going to be their big birthday celebration. I believe in May, 100 years ago is when the township voted to establish a township library. And so the birthday is going to be in May, and so we have that coming up. That's going to be a big celebration. But recently we had Chase McMunn, who's the current director, and a representative of the greater General Federation Women's Clubs. We had a representative of them who were responsible for getting the library started here in Lake Orion.
Right, right.
So we had them here in the studio to talk about the library's 100th birthday. Let's take a look at a clip from that interview. And welcome to Where Living is a Vacation. I'm Joe Johnson, and I'm joined by Jimmy Johnson. We've collaborated in the past to talk about Lake Orion's history. We've talked about the Scripps Mansion in Canterbury Village and Lake Orion schools and that sort of thing. This segment is a no-brainer because the Orion Township Public Library is celebrating 100 years this year. So a major milestone. And joining us here on set is Library Director Chase McMunn. And from the GFWC is, I want to get this correct, Renee Myron Olympich.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us here today. And the reason we have a representative from the GFWC today is what used to be known as the Lake Orion Women's Literary Club. Eventually evolved into the GFWC, but they were instrumental in starting the library in 1926, 100 years ago. What can you tell us about the roots of the GFWC, who also have celebrated 100 years not too long ago, right?
Yeah, our club actually started in Lake Orion in 1914.
Yeah.
And there was a group of women that wanted to be able to do volunteering service in the community, but also wanted to be part of learning, and so that was why the focus on books. And so that came up in 1926, and they said, let's gather up as many books as we can get donated and purchase and have a place where people in the community can actually go and check out a book.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
So from what I've read, based on my research, at one point there was a library had been formed prior to 1926, but there was a fire which destroyed all the volumes, I guess, and there was a period where they didn't have a library until the GFWC started, like you said, collecting books. You had members donate hundreds of books to build that library back up.
Right.
And so the first location was the upstairs of what was Town Hall, which is now Sick Town Hall, the pizza place. Jimmy, do you want to talk about that, the roots of the library in downtown Lake Orion?
Yeah, so, what is now Sick Pizza, at that Town Hall, you'll see there's a big steeple at the top. It's not there anymore, I believe. But, they had like over 2,500 bucks, I believe, and it was starting to sag the floors. It was getting very, very heavy, so like we better find a new location. But that was the site of many things, and this building that's been repurposed over and over.
Yeah, so it was the village offices where they would have village council meetings. They ended up, the village sold that building. Initially it was Lockhart's Barbecue, then it became 313 Pizza, now it's Sick Pizza, and the township offices moved over to the church. But it's amazing to think that the library was on the second floor of that building while they were fighting fires and stuff on the first floor of the building.
Yeah, and the fire station, that being an important spot in that time too, because they used to have somebody upstairs that would just roll a ball. They would stick the note in the ball of where the fire was at and put it down, and that's how they would know downstairs of where the location is for the fire. But that's a side story, but yes.
Yeah, and so then it moved from the town hall to, what was the second location? Was it the house that we were talking about?
The house that we were trying to figure out exactly where it was located on that corner.
Yeah.
Because it was like away, it was up higher and set back from the road. But that was like where the second location was at. I didn't find much information on that building and if that building was still there. But I think you found something.
We have a photo. We'll share that in our second segment a little bit later. But apparently, it was located on Flint Street and Lapeer Street, not Lapeer Road, not M24, but Lapeer Street and Flint Street. And there is a photo of that home. You said, who was the original owner of that?
Oh, the Hemingway. Yeah.
Yeah, so when the library moved into what was the Hemingway house at one time, that house was already 100 years old when the library moved into it, which is crazy to think about. So Jimmy Johnson, who was on the set with me, he's with the Orion Historical Society, and him and I have collaborated on a variety of history shows about various things in Lake Orion's history. We talked about the history of the schools, the Scripps Mansion in Canterbury Village, that all used to be part of one big estate, famous residents of Lake Orion. It's a lot of fun doing that, and as we were putting together and researching the show about the library, it was really fun, like stumbling on to old historical tidbits and piecing things together. And it was interesting, as I was researching the library and talking about how it changed locations over time, at one point it moved into a home in downtown Lake Orion, in the village there. And I don't recall the name off the top of my head, but I recognized the name. And it turned out that at one point the library had moved into the former home of a woman who was the first person to spot a dragon in Lake Orion. And so it was really kind of fun to put that name together with that dragon legend and go, oh, that's the woman who started the legend of the dragon on the lake. So it's a lot of fun when you start researching the history of Lake Orion and coming up with those little tidbits.
And another tidbit, people don't realize that the following week she went to see the eye doctor.
I don't know, because the legend kept growing, and
so people kept seeing the dragon.
And it got bigger and bigger, and the school named her mascot, and of course today we celebrate Dragon on the Lake every summer.
Super fun part of history.
It is,
For this community.
Have you ever done like your genealogy? Have you ever looked back and researched your genealogy?
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And nothing stood out as interesting.
To me, it's like a detective story. Like as you research and find, you know, your ancestors and start piecing all these things together, it's like watching a detective story unfold, and there's always these twists and turns. Like I had a grandfather that left my grandmother. She got remarried. I wanted to find out more about my grandfather. I'd never, knew much about him. I never met him. And as I was researching him, I found out that he spent his last days in Lapeer, which blew me away because here we are in Lake Orion, not too far from Lapeer. And I found out that he had gotten remarried, and so I was trying to get the information about the woman he had married. And I went to Lapeer City Hall and looked up some records and stuff. And sure enough, I found information on his wife, his third wife. So I'm like, oh, there's a second one in there somewhere. So it was really fascinating watching these things unfold. And it's like reading a novel and turning the pages. It was pretty fun.
Well, and that's where people get ideas for novels. It's
Exactly.
real life.
Yeah, so many twists and turns. And I like watching those shows where they do the family tree of certain celebrities and stuff. There's always fun revelations during those.
Oh, yeah. It would be great for them to do it for us because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. But, I've gone to, what's the Ancestry website.
Ancestry.com.
That helps a lot.
And there's a couple other ones.
The farthest I went back along one branch of the family tree that was through my grandmother, there's a lot of history there, and I got all the way back to 1100, the Isle of Wight, which is the southernmost tip of England. That's as far back as I was able to get before I hit a brick wall. But that was fascinating. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, now you got me inspired. I got to go back and look.
Well, now we're going to leave you with a promo for an organization that came into our studio called Steps for Seniors. And I'm not sure if we're going to have time to come back, but let's go to that video now.
Hi, my name is Wendy Jones, and I am so blessed to be the founder and CEO of Next Steps for Seniors, and also the president of Next Steps for Seniors Foundation. It is a 501c3, and I just want to share a little bit about how we're helping the community and actually the whole state of Michigan. And it's for our seniors, because as we age, and yes, we all age, things start happening as far as health. We might have some type of a disease state that we're battling as we get older. And sometimes you feel alone and nobody's there for you. And that's when our foundation steps in for you. And what we do is walk alongside you. So if you need some kind of care, and 70% of people need some type of care as they age. And we call it the ADLs, Activities of Daily Living. And what that is dressing and grooming, showering, maybe toileting, getting in and out of bed might be difficult for you. All these activities of daily living that we do on a regular basis, if you're struggling with those and you're not able to be home alone anymore, this is when Next Steps for Seniors Foundation steps in for you. And what I like most about what we do is that our services are free of charge for you, because so many times we just don't have the funds, and we wanted to offer a service that is there for you when you need it. So basically, you can call our phone number 24/7, and we assign a placement specialist or a nurse navigator. We call it to you personally, and you can ask questions about how Medicaid works. You can ask questions about how to get care in your home. If you need someone just to help you in the mornings or in the evenings, these are all services that we have an entire database full of information that we can share with you. We've got hospice companies, we've got home care companies, we've got transportation companies. We have a lot of senior living communities, assisted living, independent living, memory care communities, all in our database that we have been to every single one of them. We have vetted them, we know everything about them. So instead of going on Google, you have a local community partner right here in your community, and we are here for you. We have 18 people on our team, so we are a strong but mighty team that is here to serve you. So I just want you to know about Next Steps for Seniors Foundation. You can reach us on our phone or website. I'll give you the phone number first. It's 248-651-5010. And that phone is answered 24/7 with a live person. We even have somebody in the evenings that answers the phone, because things can happen anytime. So we want to make sure that you are cared for. And then our website is Next Steps with an S, the number 4, seniors with an S, foundation.org. I know it's a little long, but you can check out our website. Again, Next Steps, number 4, seniors, foundation.org. And all of these resources are on there as well. And we're just grateful. We're grateful that we can walk alongside you as you age. We pretty much help service anyone over the age of 62, so we are focused on seniors and aging. Also, if I can throw this in, there is another free resource that is a radio show that I'm blessed to do on the weekends, and that's Saturdays at 11 and Sundays at 10. And we also have a podcast with free information called Next Steps for Seniors, Conversations on Aging. And you can get that on your cell phone or any podcast platform that you might listen to. All right, well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. We are honored and blessed to be a trusted partner of the Lake Orion community and really the whole state of Michigan. God bless you.